Ladies and gents, I finally got it. I have been grinding for this hand cannon since Season of Opulence, and I almost gave up on it. But here recently, the God roll Waking Vigil has fallen in my hands, and I'm not gonna lie guys, I've been turned. Originally, I reviewed this roll, not a bad roll, very snappy, came with Zen moment. I thought that was it, right? I was like, this Waking Vigil, this is it. This is the one I want. What you didn't know at the time was that was a man that had no idea how godly this weapon could actually get to. Today, fellas, we're gonna take a look at this weapon again. By the way, if you wanna farm for Waking Vigil, just load up some Menagerie. Honestly, still the best 6-player activity in the game. And if you're like me and you're farming for swords inside of Heroic Menagerie, voila, 2 birds, 1 stone. Now, first up, let's take a look at our roll. Again, intrinsically, this is a lightweight frame hand cannon. Superb handling. You also move faster with the weapon equipped. Fantastic with everything. That little bit of extra movement speed is super beneficial, especially if you wanted to go a step further. Like if you wanted to pair with things like Dune Marchers, Transversive Steps, Stompies, lightweight frame weapons, outside of just being like the most competitive archetype of hand cannon, that intrinsic perk is so beneficial. Now our sight, we went with Crossfire. This actually increases our range by +7. Does hurt our stability and handling just slightly and gives us +5 there in aim assist. Our magazine perk, Ricochet Rounds, which gives us a very healthy bump in stability as well as range. Now moving on to the traits. Opening shot. Improve accuracy and range on the opening shot of an attack. Opening shot, guys, a beautiful perk for a number of reasons. Number one, it maxes out that range. This hand cannon, in its default form, starts to experience damage fall off at about 27.5 meters. With opening shot though, that first shot is able to do full damage almost up to 30 meters. Pretty nice. Now the trait next to it is one that we reviewed many times on multiple weapons, and that is Slide Shot. Sliding partially reloads the weapon's magazine and simultaneously boosts range and stability, both of which ties into the weapon on multiple levels. If you've seen videos from Fallout, he goes over accuracy cones, which by the way is super educational. Just know that pretty much all stats have a place, even range in this sandbox. Now opening shot with Slide Shot, the question arose, number one, do these traits stack? Number two, does Slide Shot re-proc opening shot? Because that's like the thing that's been thrown around a bunch. A lot of people are like, oh, you gotta get Slide Shot with opening shot because Slide Shot can re-proc the accuracy buff of opening shot as well as that great range buff. And also I wanted to answer which one is actually better, Slide Shot or opening shot. So first up, let's just go over can they stack. We're over here at Greg, and I'm making an aim here to slide into this barrier. This is to keep me from going past 30 meters. Now from this range, all the way tucked up against that physical barrier, opening shot here allows us to hit a damage value of 2029. But notice that whenever I step back, I allow opening shot to proc again, which normally has like a 3-second cooldown, and I slide. That damage doesn't jump up substantially, but 2044 is still an increase, thus giving us mathematical proof that yes, opening shot and Slide Shot do proc. Now the question comes up, can Slide Shot re-proc opening shot? As in, say you come into a gunfight, you shoot your first shot off with that great improvement to accuracy as well as range, and then you proceed to slide. You slide mid-gunfight to purposely re-proc something like opening shot. No, it does not. Opening shot gives you a boost to range. Now that boost is not on the same level as opening shot. Again, opening shot only allows for you to get that range boost on the very initial shot, whereas Slide Shot can last for multiple shots. Therefore, the range boost from Slide Shot is not as great as opening shot. It's still good. So a lot of people were getting confused here because they thought that the range bump that they were getting when they would slide mid-gunfight with opening shot was actually a re-procking of opening shot, which is not the case. And that's not to say that these two cannot work together. Obviously they can stack, even if it's not substantially so. But let's just take the secondary benefits, because despite what these two things can do together, number one, to me, the greatest benefit to opening shot is actually the accuracy bump. That accuracy bump is extremely nice. Whether you're swapping to this hand cannon from a shotgun or a sniper and you're needing to get a cleanup, whether you're in the air and you need that improved accuracy right on that first shot before your feet touches the ground, opening shot is a fantastic trait for that. I know we get hung up on range because everybody's like, all right, what's the 3-tap potential? Can we 3-tap from 30-something meters? No, you can't. You just can't. Even if I was actually to go in there, proc opening shot on the first shot, and then slide and proc Slide Shot for those next 2 shots, you might be able to get the 3-tap at 28.5, 29 meters at most. But even that's a stretch. And depending on the resilience value of your opponent, it's not something that I would reliably try to do every single time. Instead, rely on the consistency that opening shot brings by improving that initial shot with that increased accuracy. Now for slide shot, it's a trait that just offers so much. It has so much built into it at once with a slight skill curve. And that skill curve is just simply learning the slide. Now that seems like an easy function, but for some people it really throws them off. They'd rather be stationary, which I completely understand. I've got like a disease, man. I don't know what it is. I just slide everywhere. But here recently, I've been correcting myself. And that's because I'm actually combining something like slide shot with Waking Vigil with Antaeus wards. Antaeus wards actually improves that slide distance. Also, sliding reflects incoming projectiles, which grants you super energy at the same time. And Antaeus wards is getting a buff at the beginning of next season. Tomorrow, boys, it's getting a buff. Antaeus wards. I know everybody's looking at other exotics, but Antaeus are about to be nasty. They're already good if you understand them correctly, which I did not until here recently. You see, I actually posted this on our Twitter. This was a Reddit post that was educating misinformed people like myself on how Antaeus wards works. You see, it doesn't grant you a full 100% protective shield throughout your entire slide. Instead, it starts off at 0% protection, and as you begin your slide to the end, that protective barrier increases. Now, chip damage is what's actually going to be reduced start of next season, so I'm not really sure how this is going to scale. Just know Antaeus is going to be even better, offering more protection, more reflection, and when you combine it with something like slide shot on a hand cannon, this can actually extend the time to kill value of anybody you're going against simply because you're able to tank either the entire shot or a piece of it. Just a piece of it can win you a gunfight. There's so many times I slide around a corner, especially like a sniper, and they got their bead right on my head, and I'm able to just sit there and eat it and proceed to gun them down with my hand cannon. And during this process, of course, slide shot is procced for an increase in range and stability, which makes for an easy 3-tap. And in some cases, if you really get good at it, although it is by chance, you can actually reflect the sniper shot back into your opponent, which makes for an easy 1-tap. Oh, it's nasty. So fellas, that is our new and improved Waking Vigil. It has become my most used weapon as of now. I'm in love. No, for real, I'm in love. Waking Vigil is already one of my favorite hand cannons in the game. I've used it so much in the past few days inside of comp, which is actually an excellent place to like stress test certain weapons, because some weapons obviously ball out in 6v6, but putting in like a stressful environment like competitive really shows how well the weapon does. And I was very surprised with how well it was able to handle itself across all the maps I was playing on, even big maps like Widow's Court. Now it may take me 4 shots, which does throw up that time to kill value. Granted, Waking Vigil, like most 150s, have that beautiful 0.8 second time to kill value within its range, so anything like 28 meters or less. And at 4 shots, you're looking at a time to kill value of 1.2 seconds, which is not the most competitive. After dealing with a lot of different hand cannons and playing with a bunch, I always found myself kind of drifting back toward the exotics more, because I just felt like I didn't have the legendaries to hang, outside of maybe Spare Rations. Thorn was fantastic for those mid-ranges, mainly due to that damage over time. Spare Rations also had a number of options there that allowed it to reach out to those great ranges. It wasn't until I actually found this role in this Waking Vigil that made me go, all right, now I've got an energy hand cannon that to me exceeds that of Spare, which I know is like heresy. But really, Waking Vigil is a fantastic hand cannon, guys. Again, Menagerie is still open to everybody. We talked about the swords that you should grind for before next season, as big sword changes are on their way tomorrow. During this process, if you want to go in there, load up your runes, and farm out for some Waking Vigils, it's a fantastic way to farm for this weapon. Now, we didn't talk about a Masterwork. I'm on PC though. I don't need more stability, especially with something like opening shot. This is a lightweight frame hand cannon already, so the handling speed is already good to me. I think I still get more out of range. It's not substantial. No, we're not killing people at 30+ meters, but it's still beneficial. And considering that opening shot and slide shot is also trying to boost that range, I felt it necessary just to throw on a range Masterwork as well. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.